And last year I did the Final Fantasy 13 Noctis, that engine sword thing.
Oh, that was you? Oh my god. Oh my god.
But I couldn't find the right thing to make the engine out of, and I was looking around and I saw like the traffic lights. You know how it's got the circle thing like around the lights just to protect it and stuff. I was like, I wish I can like just rip that off and put it onto my sword. And I found something similar in like Bonnie's, but it was a toilet pipe. So the point is, you really just look at the things around you, and maybe you can rip something off. It's like, yes, drink bottles, alfoil, salt shakers, sink strainers, buckets. As I said before, I've used most things from the toilet, including the lid. Makes very nice instant shields and stuff. Just sand.
Oh my god.
Have a shield, but that's expensive, by the way, because you have to replace it.
Go to the tip. They have them everywhere.
Yeah, they have them everywhere. Yeah, public toilets. Hope you don't get AIDS.
It's a shield with AIDS.
Wastage pipes are awesome. They can be found at any Bunnings in the plumbing section. They come in different sizes and different hugenesses. And it's hard to cut though, I have to say. So I actually run an electric sander off the tip. So if it's that long and I need it this short, I go for about half an hour until it gets to the mark. And then sometimes I get it too short and I have to buy a new one.
Whole process already.
Rolls, as I said. There's quite a lot of... Whoa, crap. Yeah, nearly tripped over that. But a lot of random stuff that you can use from everywhere. The carpet. I've used the carpet before for the sword handle because it was exactly the right color and texture. Ripped something out of a pool table because of the velvet, and it was all nice and stuff. But don't do that.
Your house must be a mess.
This is my room is. And I like Ray and Pokemon. Yeah, and Lipton iced tea. This is an example of the Noctis engine sword. As you can see, the basic methods of this cut. Not carving, I mean cutting out a shape from a stencil onto wood. That's
And lemonade.
wood, by the way. Advertising for Lipton iced tea right now. The large bottles are awesome for $3. Drink them all in one go. And cut the top off with a katana, nothing else. The two toilet pipes I'm talking about. The big pipe and the small pipe make the one engine, and then there's the Lipton ice bottle, and then there's a sink strainer there. And then these bits were all made out of craft foam. That was Das, air dry clay, and just a mixture of everything in that, and you get the sword.
Oh my god.
Horror. Oh, what was that? Oh yeah, and this is an example of what you can do, like featuring sexy people like Ali and guns. What? Bart. What? I don't understand. Oh, Ali Butt. We have to go back there. Yeah, Ali Butt. Yes.
I'll tap that.
This is supposed to be part 2. We skipped fiberglassing because the fiberglass dude is not here. I'll briefly talk about fiberglassing, I guess. There's a program on the computer called Pepakura. Some of you might know. If you're a big Halo fan, they'll have like, it's like a diagram of all the measurements of the armor, and you can just print it out and then hot glue it together. It will become a 3D shape. So it's basically like a polygonal thing that comes into shape. I'm not sure what the word is. I suck at English. Why am I Asian?
Wow.
You know those polygon things that you build in primary school? Like build a cube, build a triangular pyramid. Those things that you just glue together. Pepper Crew is like that, but with armor. And it's got millions of seams everywhere that you just glue together, and then you'll get a helmet shape. And then you fiberglass over it or under it, depending on which look you're trying for. Over gives you a rougher and harder to sand look, but it builds on top, and then it's less dangerous afterwards. Building under gives you a very nice smooth surface that you don't really have to sand much, and then you can build details on top of it. And then afterward you take the mold off. It's like paper macheing, but you're not having a balloon, but you're having the paper mold and then the fiberglass, and just ripping the paper off, and you'll get a nice helmet. And that's Pepakura. Fiberglass consists of two things: the fiberglass itself and resin. You can use casting resin or actual fiberglass resin. Fiberglass resin has a disgusting yellow and pooey green stinge to it. Casting resin is actually clear. So if you actually need your prop to be colorless, or like just nice and see-through in general, casting resin is the way to go. But casting resin is just a tad more expensive than fiberglass resin. But they're about the same strength, so you don't need to worry about that. Safety notes on if you want to try fiberglass, you have to get all the equipment you need for your safety. So don't start it unless you've got everything. You need a respirator, gloves, a full body suit, and some hand cream and chemicals to remove the resin in case you get something stuck on your hands, because you don't want to eat with that stuff. Breathing it in, by the way, will give you cancer. And it's very slow, so you don't know right after. You sniff it, you're like, oh, I'm fine. Take fiberglass. It's like, and then when you turn 15, oh my god. Oh, I guess not 15, like 50. Yeah, but if you're like him and you start early and you just sniff the fiberglass, by the time you're 15, oh. That's a very ghetto summary of fiberglass. I'm sorry, I can't go into too much depth. Base color of paint jobs. Before you do anything, have a smooth surface. If you're using plywood or all that splintery stuff, fiberglass, and it's not smooth, applying the color isn't going to make it look any better. In fact, it's going to make it worse. If you have a rough, splintery sword that you just sprayed silver, it will just look like a chunk of mess in your hand. Smooth surface important. Sandpaper, electric sander, whatever you wish. You can even use like the nail thingies, files. Yes, that's it. Files to get to the very hard places. Like with this guy's helmet, he actually used nail files to get all the little bits that's inside the helmet that you can't reach with like just sandpaper or a big sander. Oh, that's great. So any imperfections should be made smooth, just depending on what prop you're after. If you're making like Nightmare's epic organic sword, you can't really have a smooth surface, right? Undercoat and primer. That is before you apply the actual color of the prop. Either black and white would be good. A white undercoating, so usually I would use acrylic paint because it dries semi-gloss and soft, so it's elasticy. so it can move with your prop. So spray paint is not going to do anything for your undercoat because it's going to partly get soaked in, and it's because that you don't want that to happen, that you're using a undercoat in the first place. So if you just spray a different color and then spray a silver, it's going to look the same. Primer is, thank you very much.
Riku.
Primer is awesome. You can have spray-on primer, by the way. That it's very convenient. Wood primer, but that's expensive. So if you can afford it, go for primer. Wood primer, metal primer, whatever you're using. So just like, if you're working with wood, use wood primer. If you're working with metal, use metal primer. So that's simple, right? Painting techniques, right? There is brush painting or spray painting. For brush painting, it's nicer to use soft stroke for no stroke marks. Like usually you just paint it and then there's these huge ridges where your brush has like imperfections in it where you have like a river going on and it's got a pattern of like you can see how you like wielded your brush. But if you use a brush, paint it over all of it, and then just before you finish the painting, just swipe over it very softly so that the strands just touch the paint, and just spread it around. It'll be like, it's like sanding a prop while it's wet. So it will get rid of all these unwanted stroke marks. For spray painting, a consistent long stroke at a good distance away. Too much would give you a puddle. And if you're one of those people who like to paint the both sides and then hang it to dry, too much will give you bloody drools. Like, it's like you're cosplaying some horror movie things. It's like, so from a good distance away, about 20-30 centimeters, consistent stroke, and just at a consistent speed, I guess, because there are a lot of people who spray like this, and then they stop at the ends where they turn back, so you can see the dot, 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 extra silver, dot, dot, and then there's the average silver. So it's like, oh, hello, you used the zigzag spray. But long, consistent, slow stroke with your spray can go like this, like, and then stop, and then stop. So that is the Wong. That is the spray painting art of spray paint. Hold on, I'm not finished yet. Oh, I failed. Yeah, for base color, there's one more thing about the undercoat. For if you want to weather, which is the next slide, black undercoating is always very nice because it requires less spray paint afterwards to get the damaged look. So if you paint your whole prop black and then spray it lightly with silver, it will give you the old factory metal look with the little black splodges everywhere. And you can control that by how much silver you put onto it when you spray paint. Weathering is pretty much making the prop look more realistic. Hello, Sierra. That is Sierra, the Queen of Melbourne.
Welcome.
Yes, weathering. There is, hello there. Oh, not you. I was talking to the phone.
Rejected.
You can sit anywhere. I'll talk about this later. I'll get there. It's really good, so that'll be fine. Weathering, making your props look more realistic. You really don't want a glittery, shiny weapon most of the time, because if you're doing something like